Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura, also known as Butterfly Stitches 83, also known as Cotton and Clay UK over on Instagram, and this is my little area of the YouTubes where I talk all about cross stitch. Today's is a Flosstube extra, so my usual videos I show all my projects, talk about my whips and my finishes, etc. But this is a Flosstube extra, and today we are going to be doing a flip through of this gorgeous book by Meg Black, also known as the Witchy Stitcher. So if you've seen this, or even if you haven't, and you are curious to know more and to see photos of some of the patterns that are in there, then please stick around. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching. And if this is the first time you've seen my face, please feel free to watch this video, and hopefully you will love this book as much as I do. If you want to see more of my actual stitching, then please feel free to go into my list of previous videos and take a look at some of my regular scheduled Flosstube videos. So today let's talk about this gorgeous book. So Meg Black, also known as the Witchy Stitcher, I hadn't heard of her until probably I think it was Big Stitch last summer. I think she had some exclusives available as part of that, if I recall. I think that was the first time I had seen her, and then a few of my stitchy friends were huge fans, and I was very intrigued. Her style is so awesome. She sticks to her, like she really has nailed the witchy kind of macabre style of patterns, and she's been just bringing out some absolute blinders, and this book is absolutely no exception. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's got some wonderful patterns in it. As soon as I saw some of my stitchy friends sharing it, I knew I had to get it. It hasn't disappointed. It's awesome. So I am going to do a flip through and show you photographs of all of the patterns in here, not the charts obviously, but the photographs, and I'm also just going to talk a little bit about everything else that's in this book, because it's absolutely awesome, and it's got some stuff that's a little bit different to other cross stitch books that I've got, and believe me, I've got quite a few. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, please stick around. So the first thing I wanted to say that I love about this, and I love a lot about it, is that it is so on brand. So like every aspect of the book, from what she talks about, the titles, the colours, is all on brand for the Witchy Stitcher. It is all kind of like spooky, macabre. The colours are all amazing. The wording that she's put for everything is fantastic. For example, we've got a whole section called Macabre Materials. She has grimoire facts. She has ghost tips, fun Witchy Stitcher facts about herself. It's absolutely brilliant. I love that she has really, like, she's grabbed her brand and she's run with it, and it's just such a fun way to write a book. For example, I like this grimoire fact. If you stitch all the projects in this grimoire, you will have used 30 skeins of DMC 310, which is really funny and a fun fact. What else is that I really like that it's got some, so at the beginning we've got our usual, we've got our contents, we've got our sort of intro to cross stitch and all the different materials, etc., which a lot of cross stitch books have got, but she, as I say, she's really grabbed the theme, and she's really gone in depth in terms of talking about everything cross stitch. So if you're an utter beginner, this book is obviously fantastic, but even if you're more of a seasoned stitcher like myself, there's still stuff in here that you might not have seen before. So for example, I really love this needle chart, where it's just a really simple way of displaying what size needle for what size fabric. Now that's, you might think that's straightforward, right? But no one's ever actually explained that to me, and I just kind of like muddle through with what I think works for me. But I just think that's just a really awesome little graphic, and it's just one of like many little extra things that are in the book, that I just wanted to share that with you. And there's other things. For example, she's showing how to prepare fabric. She's talking about different storage solutions. It's just very well-rounded and encompasses everything you'd need, along with lots of awesome spooky photography as well. So she's also, for example, included like a couple of bonus patterns whilst doing explanations, which I think is great. So she's done a pattern specifically for showing you how to read a cross stitch pattern, and then she's included that actual pattern as well, which is the Haunted Parlour. Let me show you it without showing you. I'm going to try and show you every pattern in here, but without whilst covering up the actual pattern, of course. It is such a cutie. So this pattern she's using to show you how to prepare your fabric, how to read a cross stitch pattern, and then she's providing the actual pattern and all of the details that you need to stitch that, which I think is awesome. For example, she's also showing you right at the beginning here in the intro section, there's at the beginning of each section of the patterns, which I'll get to in a minute, there is a bookmark to sort of sum up that section of the patterns, section of the book. And here in the intro, she's given us another bonus pattern of a bookmark, and she's telling you exactly how to do that finish and how to turn it into a bookmark. Let me show you that pretty one. It's called Book of Spells, and then of course she's got the actual pattern and the key and laid out exactly as cross stitch patterns usually are. So there it is, so gorgeous. And again, it's just a really inventive way of explaining. Like, it's quite easy to, you could just say this is how you make a bookmark, this is how you read a cross stitch pattern, this is how you prepare your fabric, etc. But the fact that she's incorporated actual examples and patterns into that, I think is just a really clever, sort of nice, innovative way of doing it. And then she's even gone to talk about lots of other extra things. In fact, she's even called the section Being Extra, and it's she talks about beads, embellishments, how to antique your fabric, make it look old and spooky. She's included a section on how to dye with coffee and tea, which I've obviously heard a lot about over the years, but I don't have any idea how to do it. So all of that is like super useful. I mean, the way she's gone really in depth in terms of how to do the tea and coffee dyeing. We've got like lots of different pictures, really detailed instructions. Like, it's just fantastic, and it's just a little extra that is kind of perfect for if you are a beginner, it's perfect. But as I say, if you're a bit further on than beginner, but you might not know how to tea coffee dye, that's just a nice extra to have in this book as a bonus, which is awesome. And there's a very long list of stitching vernacular, basically a glossary of stitching terms as well, which is very awesome. And then, so you've got all of that awesomeness before you even get onto the pattern section, which I think is great. The patterns themselves are divided into 4 sections, which I think is a great way of laying it out. There's the first section is for the Coven, witchy patterns with a touch of darkness. Then you've got Gothic gallery, haunted creations with a dash of whimsy, Halloween, pumpkins, ghosts and bats, oh my, obviously all your standard Halloween fare. And then you've got what's probably my favourite section, which is haunted holidays, holiday inspired patterns with a creepy twist. So that's probably my favourite section. She's kind of looking at all your other holidays, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's, but putting a witchy spin on them. But we'll get to that in a minute and I'll show you. But yeah, super fun. So yeah, we've moved on to the patterns. As I say, the photography in here is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at this, I'll get to this pattern later on, but look how gorgeous just the photography is. The staging of the display and staging of the picture is just, I just think it's great. It's all done very sort of aesthetically pleasing. It's really fun to sort of look at the book and flip through it and just see all the beautiful artwork and photography, and the finishing is just wonderful. So let's get to the actual patterns. As I say, we're in 4 sections, and there's a bookmark pattern at the beginning of each section. And this first section is for the Coven, witchy patterns with a touch of darkness. So first of all, we've got our witchy bookmark. Beautiful. I love that the hearts are kind of also a Ouija board. Sorry, not the, yes, so she's got the candle hut, and then it's kind of a Ouija board style. See, I'm sure Meg would be disappointed in me that I don't know these terms, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. The Witchy bookmark. The next pattern in this section is so cute. It's Bat Coven. How awesome is that? And look at that fabric as well, like manuscript. And again, the finishing and the photography is stunning. Our next pattern, the very clear, bold colour patterns as well, by the way. The next one is one of my favourites, Know Your Power. I'm a big fan of anything typography based, and this is gorgeous. The intro to each pattern is awesome as well. It's quite sort of detailed intros to each pattern, explaining about the pattern and also the inspiration behind it. For example, 3 little words imbued with ancient wisdom and the energy of witches throughout history. Know your power is a reminder we all need at times. And she goes on. It's just awesome. That's definitely one that I want to stitch. And then we've got 3 of besoms. Lovely witchy broomsticks. And again, she talks about the word besom and where it comes from, what it means, etc. Witch's cauldron. You're starting to see how you would use those 30 skeins of DMC 310, right? Brilliant. Superstitious stitches. That's a tongue twister. I love the black cat and the ladder and the 13, and it's just awesome. There's just a lot of tiny little awesome motifs going on in that one, which is wonderful. Then we're moving on to the next section, which is Gothic Gallery, Haunted Creations with a Dash of Whimsy. Here's our bookmark for that section, coffin case bookmark. I mean, this is so cute. This is basically a coffin bookcase, and it's adorable. And again, gorgeous photography. It's so lovely. And I think the idea of having a bookmark at the beginning of each section is really awesome as well. A lot of us are readers as well as stitchers. Memento Mori, which is, oh, she does say what it means. Latin phrase that translates to remember you must die. I love it. And it's a fantastic pattern. Look at that moth or butterfly at the top, assuming moth. And the sand, the detail, the sort of the colour graduation on the sand in the hourglass is just wonderful. It gives like movement to the pattern. Next we've got Victorian Haunt. First we've got the housey patterns. Again, so much awesome detail going on, from the bats to the moon to the little ghost behind the tree, or 3 ghosts in fact, and all the details on the actual house is wonderful as well. Nevermore, more gorgeous typography. And again, the fabric and the finishing is lovely. She talks about, I'm wondering if that is fabric, it would say in here, I'm sure, I haven't read the whole thing yet. I'm wondering if that is fabric that she sort of adjusted herself. There was a section where she talks about antiquing your fabric, and I'm wondering if she did these branches herself and tells you how to do it. But yeah, it looks awesome. Then we've got another one of my personal favourites, Dracula's Castle. Oh, this is a stunner. How gorgeous is that? How she gets the depth of colour and perspective with the different reds on the black background is absolutely lovely. I think there might be a bigger picture here. Oh, here's a slightly bigger picture. It's just gorgeous. Another one of my favourites, carnivorous plants. Kind of a little bit like my t-shirt. I really want to stitch this one for my husband, who's got into his plants lately. Oh, that's great. And like loads to learn as well. Like I love it when it's kind of like, because you know there's that pattern that regular viewers will have seen that I'm working on called In Praise of Pollinators, and I love like learning about all the pollinators that are featured in the pattern, and this way you can also learn a lot about carnivorous plants. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely great. Then we move on to the Halloween section. Pumpkins, ghosts and bats, oh my. This is your really traditional, quite cutesy but spooky but fun kind of Halloween patterns. I'll show you these patterns in more depth, but let me just show you the photography as well of some of the patterns that are coming up. This one. So cute. So those, oh, I like this. There's a whole section, oh, I love this, where she's talking about sort of bats, black cats, ghosts, owls, skeletons, etc. The symbols of Halloween and why they are symbols of Halloween, which is great. I'll be reading that later. So our bookmark for this section is Vintage Halloween Bookmark, and it is very cute. I love the way, I think she tells you how to do this in the bookmark making section. She's done like the fringe at the bottom of the, like fraying the fabric to make like a fringe on the bookmark. It's an awesome touch. Vintage Halloween dolls. These are so spooky and awesome. They're really creepy, you know, but in a great way. Garden of Halloween. Now there's kind of two versions of this, so I'll show you the girl one first. And then there's a boy version. And me and Shell from Cheesecake and Cross Stitch actually were saying, could you, she was like, oh, it'd be cool to have them together. And I said, well, you could potentially do that. Maybe put the two together and then adjust the border. Could work if you wanted to do that. Here's a bigger picture of these. They're so cool. Lovely spooky couple. I haven't read. I'm assuming they're couples maybe. This beautiful autumnal couple, yes. Then we've got Vintage Halloween Ferris wheel. I love this. This is like very unique. You wouldn't usually see like a Ferris wheel with this, like a theme park theme with this, although sometimes theme parks can be quite spooky. But I just think that's a really inventive, clever idea, unique idea for a design. And I love that we've got a different spooky character in every car of the Ferris wheel. And I love the Halloween bunting, and we've got the little guy either operating it or just about to get in, and the pumpkins at the front. So gorgeous. Definitely another of my favourites. Then we've got Creepy Carnival. To be honest, I like all of them in this section. I absolutely love all of them. I love that. There's sort of the joy and sort of fantastical evil joy on his face. It's so good. This is just so cute. Happy Owloween. So he's stitched, is he stitched in the negative space? Oh no, he is filled in. The black is filled in. I didn't know if the black was negative space or if it is filled in. According to the chart, I suppose you could leave it if you wanted to, but it looks wonderful. Oh, there's a bigger picture. I like that there's multiple pictures of a lot of the projects in here. We've got Haunting Hour. And then we're moving on to our final section, which is Haunted Holidays, holiday-inspired patterns with a creepy twist. And as I say, I think this is a really unique and fun idea. She's taking all our other holidays from the year and putting a spooky Halloween twist onto them. If I start winking at you guys, it's because I'm having a contact lens freak out, not for any other reason. Although of course I'd love to wink at you all. Yeah, so these are a lot of fun, just really inventive. So first of all, the bookmark for this section is Merry Creepmas bookmark. So you've got a creepy Christmas twist going on. And the ghosts, look at the ghosts and the Santa hats. So cute. Then you've got Ginger Dead House. Probably my favourite from this section. I love you've got skeleton gingerbread men. And again, a little ghost with a Santa hat coming out the chimney, I think, or on the roof. It's just really fun. It's really fun. If you are massively into your Gothic stitching, which I know loads of us are, it's just a really fun way of incorporating the other holidays into it. Not just for Halloween, eh? Then we've got a Halloween Candy Corn Hearts, which is kind of a Valentine's Day Halloween mashup. So cute. I love it because you've got hearts, but they are, you can tell that's candy corn. The colours are so spot on. You've got Till Death, which is kind of like a wedding inspired. Be a fabulous present for a sort of Gothic loving bride and groom that you might know of. And we've got Happy Easterween. So just when you think, oh God, there must be one pattern that she can't possibly, one holiday that she can't possibly make spooky, is Easter. It's so bright and fun and cheerful and innocent. No, she's managed it, and she's managed it well. Here's another photo of that one. It's adorable. Look at the ears. And then that's your last pattern, but then we've got even more tips and tricks at the end. You've got finishing tips, how to wash and press your work, how to frame in a hoop, how to do blanket stitch. Again, something that you kind of need to know as you become a slightly more experienced stitcher, and I had to Google that years ago, but that's really handy. How to frame in a standard picture frame. And then some awesome acknowledgements and superstitious stitches cheat sheet in the back. There's this. Oh, okay, this is awesome actually. Superstitious stitches cheat sheet, and it's going through talking about all superstitious items and the superstitions that go with them. For example, coin, find a penny, pick it up, all day long you'll have good luck. Some believe that heads up means good luck and tails up means bad luck. Or umbrella, opening indoors brings bad luck. If you drop an umbrella, do not pick it up. Instead, have someone else do it for you, or you will have bad luck. And there's a big list of superstitions in there, which I think is really awesome. And that's it. But it's amazing. It's probably, I don't like to pick favourites. I've got a lot of cross-stitch books, but I think this is my new favourite. There's just so much in there. There's loads of amazing patterns. It was a really reasonable price. I got mine from Amazon. It's got awesome patterns. It's got 25 patterns and lots of stitchy information that isn't just for beginners, and lots of witchy information as well, which is like really fun and interesting to learn about. So yeah, highly recommend. I think it's fabulous. If you like any of those designs, then definitely go ahead and grab a copy, or it would make an awesome present for a stitchy friend or a cross stitcher in your life. So yeah, highly recommend. Well done to Meg. It's a wonderful book, and I hope you guys enjoy it just as much, and I hope you liked that video and that little flip through. I will see you again soon for another Flosstube video. Take care. Happy stitching. Bye.